Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Michelle Nedwick and I make healthy lifestyle videos that include some new recipes, some fashion content, some beauty content, a look into my life, and I'm also documenting my journey on a GLP-1 and Weight Watchers. And that's Leo at my door. Hang on. All right, so Leo is making an appearance. You can hear him meowing, which is not really a meow. He just squawks. But anyway, hi buddy. All right, so today I have another segment in my Weight Watchers motivation series. But first, I'll give you my weight loss updates, and I want to talk about a few things GLP-1 related. So let me get straight to what I lost. So if you recall from my last video, I had taken a no weigh-in pass at the Weight Watcher meeting. So I hadn't weighed myself in 2 weeks. And I weighed myself this Saturday, and I was down an additional 1.8, which may be slow for some of you guys, but I'm ecstatic because I feel like the scale is finally moving for me. I plateaued for so long, and I think it was a combination of being on tamoxifen and also probably not getting enough activity. So I switched from tamoxifen to a different breast cancer medication, and I started taking Wellbutrin. I was concerned because I was getting severe dry mouth, so I tried to figure out which medication was causing it, and by process of elimination, I still don't know. I went off of Wellbutrin for a little over a week, and I still had the dry mouth. So I'm not sure. I started it back up. But anyway, that is my weight loss update. And now I want to talk a little bit about side effects on a GLP-1. Now, obviously, these medications are becoming extremely popular. And I know several people that are on some form of a GLP-1. And for the most part, it is a miracle drug for most. And even though my weight loss was so slow at a snail's pace, I do think it was a miracle for me as well. So I'm down a total of 35 pounds. I would love to lose another 15. That's to get to my goal. And I'd love to do that before my wedding in October. But if I don't, I finally feel comfortable in my own skin. And for example, we are going to Mike's condo to go to the pool there today. And we invited some friends. And before, I would not have done that because I wouldn't want to be around anybody in a bathing suit besides Mike. But now I feel pretty confident in myself and my body. Am I perfect? No. I've got that, crepey skin here that I can't seem to do anything about. If you guys have a cure for that, let me know. But overall, I have my confidence back. And that is worth $1 million to me. So, like I said, these GLP-1 medications have become pretty popular. And the number one question I get is about side effects. And people, who are not on a GLP-1, I have a good friend that I see at work, and she said she would never go on one because she doesn't want to be throwing up all the time and feeling sick all the time. And I have to say, I guess that can be a side effect for some people, but it really wasn't for me. And I tried to tell her that, as long as you're working with your doctor and you're figuring out your dose, you shouldn't have that side effect. When I would feel sick would be when I ate something or drank something I shouldn't have. And that's really the only times I've felt nauseous and sick. And I don't believe I've ever thrown up. So when people ask me what my side effects were, I have to say that the biggest one for me has been constipation. But I have figured out a way to get over that. I take a Colace a day, and then I take a magnesium gummy at night. And that generally does the trick. If not, I take an overnight laxative, which I do not like to do because that does make me sick to my stomach. But it does work. So if worse comes to worse, that's what I do. You guys have given me a lot of suggestions, and I've tried several of them. The Colace stool softener and the magnesium seems the most comfortable resolution to that problem. Some of the other side effects, I'm starting to believe that perhaps this dry mouth is a side effect of the tirzepatide, because it did kind of coincide with me upping my dosage to 12.5. So we'll see. When I hit my goal weight and I scale down my dose, I'll see if that helps the dry mouth, and I will let you guys know. So speaking of tirzepatide, I also wanted to update you guys. Now, months ago, way long ago, I had ordered a 3-month supply from Zappy Health, and they were using a pharmacy called OSHA. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's spelled O-U-S-I-A. I was calling it USIA for a while, but I've heard that it's pronounced OSHA. Now, they got into trouble because they did not have the proper licensing for sterile compounding. So I didn't really know what to do with this 3-month supply. I had tried it a few months ago, but I only gave it about a week or so, and I felt like it wasn't as effective as, say, the tirzepatide I got from Orderly Meds, but I really didn't give it a shot. So 2 weeks ago, I finished one of my vials from Orderly Meds, and I do have another one, the one I did an unboxing for, that bud date is my birthday. But I wanted to try the OSHA vials again. So I have been taking the 12.5 dose and have now taken it for the past 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm losing, and my appetite is suppressed. And honestly, maybe it isn't as strong as the vials from Orderly Meds, because I do feel slightly better. Now, I just got over saying that I do not feel sick all the time like my one friend feared, but sometimes I would feel a little nauseous in the morning. And I really haven't had that with this vial from OSHA. Now, I know that's really risky for me to try, and I don't recommend that anybody else does it, but I just wanted to let you know I kept my vials and they're okay. So if you got some, then that's up to you if you want to try them or not. I have not had any bad side effects from the OSHA vials. And I just wanted to say that because I was promoting them months ago before I found out that they got into trouble. And I know some of you probably ordered. And I just wanted to let you know that for me, they're okay. All right, this is a little long-winded. I actually have already filmed this topic, but I couldn't use the footage. I decided that I would film in my sunroom, and I did. Knocked it out, talked about the Weight Watcher meeting and all that. And then when I went to play it back, there was this overall like buzzing noise that I just didn't hear when I was sitting in there. And just to give you an idea, I'll play a little bit so that you can hear what I'm talking about. Well, hello, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Michelle. So it lasted throughout the whole video, and I knew that nobody was going to be able to stand watching that with that noise in the background. So I have to do it all over again. So as you can see, got my buddy right here, And let's get into the Weight Watcher motivation for this week. Now, I didn't attend the meeting because I'm getting my basement waterproofed. That's going to be a nightmare and super expensive, but I had an estimate on Saturday morning. So I attended a virtual workshop, and you can do that if you're a meetings member on Weight Watchers. You go where you look for regular meetings, and you can pick in person or virtual. And if you pick virtual, you're gonna see that there are so many different meetings. And they're not just the weekly workshop, although there are plenty of those as well. I think Weight Watchers, picks a topic nationwide, and so it was actually nice to get a different leader's perspective. I love my leader, Michelle, and she's hilarious, and I wouldn't go to anyone else, but it is nice to see some other points of view. And my best friend, Gina, she did go to the meeting, and she made some notes for me. Wasn't that sweet? So I have a combination of my regular meeting and my virtual meeting. The topic of the day was about goals. Now, at the in-person workshop that Gina attended, my leader, Michelle, stated, goals. The closer we are, the better we are. And what that means is, and now I'm gonna look back on my iPad and talk about the virtual meeting. The closer you are to a goal, the more likely you are to achieve it. And what does that mean? That means if you're talking about losing 50 pounds and you think about it and it just seems so overwhelming that you end up just not working towards it. Now, if you made a series of smaller goals, you are more apt to do it. For example, the virtual leader, I believe I listened to a meeting by the leader named Jocelyn, and I actually have seen her picture in some of the Weight Watchers materials, so I think she is one of their big leaders. But anyway, she was very good. She wanted us to just think about the rest of the summer, or more specifically, the next 8 weeks. And she wanted to remind us that healthy weight loss is between a ½ pound and 2 pounds a week. So technically, if you are losing a ½ pound a week, by the end of the 2 months, maybe you're only down 4 pounds. But anyway, that does make me feel better because my weight loss has been pretty slow. But I seem to be on the right path. So anyway, so if you think about it like that, and your goal is to lose 5 pounds in the next 8 weeks, that's achievable. And we are more likely to stick to the behaviors that help with that. So the leader, Jocelyn, said that there is a link between your feelings and your actions. How we feel leads to how we act. And that kind of makes sense. And one of the topics I've had kind of recurring in the last few of my videos and at the Weight Watchers meeting is this negative self-talk that we do to ourselves. And if you're focusing on those negative thoughts, or Fred, as my leader Michelle likes to call them, then you're probably not going to have the behaviors that are going to help you achieve your goals. If you focus on the negative feelings, you are more likely to self-sabotage. And, we've all been there. We've all sabotaged ourselves here and there. But, if you just focus on those negative feelings, I think you are more likely to self-sabotage. So that's a good thing to think about. And she said, not only should you break down your goals and say, my goal is to lose 5 pounds in the next 2 months, it helps to visualize your goal. And Jocelyn, the virtual leader, likened our goals and our breaking things down into small steps as a ladder. Now, on the top of the ladder, you're going to put your goal. Now, the leader said her goal is to get more water in daily. And which would make sense because she's at her goal weight. So she said that she only manages really to get maybe 40 ounces of water in a day, and she would really like it to be 100 ounces. Now, at the top of her ladder is that water goal. At the top of my ladder is going to be that lose 5 pounds goal. But let's go back to her ladder. So she said the first rung, the very first step, is starting from where you are. So for her, that is drinking 40 ounces of water a day. Now, the next rung up is not going to be 100 ounces. It's going to be maybe 48 ounces. So you make these small steps doable. So then, you'll drink 48 ounces of water a day, for a while. And then maybe the next one is 54 ounces a day, and so on and so forth. And it does make it more achievable. If you're only drinking 40 ounces of water a day and all of a sudden you're like, I'm gonna drink 100 ounces of water a day, and you start the next day, chances are that's gonna fizzle out. And that's kind of the same thing with like my weight loss goals. So where am I starting? I'm starting, well, I've lost 35 pounds. I'd like to lose 5 more in the next 8 weeks. So my first step is probably going to be organizing and planning what I'm going to eat, right? Because we've often heard that losing weight is 80% diet and 20% activity. And so I'll go to the grocery store. That could be the next rung on the ladder. And I'm going to buy healthy foods. Generally it's the aisles that go around the grocery store that are all the healthy foods. So have those on hand and take them home and prep them so that, if you are hungry, it's easier to grab the healthy snack as opposed to the unhealthy snack. So what would be my next rung up? Now, I did say it is 20% activity. So, and that's something I'm struggling with at the moment. Life has gotten a little busier, a little more stressful with my work stress and the stress of the wedding getting closer and all the things that I have to figure out. So I essentially quit working out, and I'm kind of mad at myself for that. Oh, there he goes. So my next rung might be try to walk 2 miles twice a week. That's doable. I have a path that I go around in my neighborhood, and it's 2 miles, and it takes me about 35 minutes or so. And I can do it. Now, it has been in the mid-90s, so am I going to do that when it's 95 degrees out? Unlikely, but I could get up a little bit early in the morning and just go for a walk while it's still nice out and cool. So that could be a rung on my ladder. I also would like to incorporate strength training, but when you're planning your small goals, try not to bite off more than you can chew. So try not to do everything all at once. Focus on one thing at a time. So I did start out and made sure I had healthy food available. I planned out some healthy dinners, but I'm not focusing on that so much because my goal for this next week is to become more active. So that could involve me walking twice a week. Mike and I have also talked about riding bikes. During COVID, I bought myself a really nice bike, and I haven't ridden it in like 3 years. So I'd like to do that. So what's the first step with that? That would probably be putting air in the tire because that tire is flat. So that could be a rung on my ladder. Get the air in the tire, get the bike ready, and then maybe take it out for a spin once this week. And not too long or too strenuous, just an enjoyable bike ride. We have a few metro parks around here that are pretty nice. So that could be something. But, before I can get on the bike, I've got to put the air in the tire. So it's steps, small steps. All right, let me look at this and figure out what else I want to tell you about it. for my goal of losing 5 pounds, what are some behaviors that will help me achieve that? And we came up with attending workshops regularly, drinking water, tracking, trying new recipes so you don't get bored, moving our bodies, getting good sleep, and prioritizing protein. So in the virtual meeting, those were the behaviors that they suggested. Now, what Weight Watchers is trying to say is, yes, all of those are good behaviors, but you can't focus on all of them at the same time. So what are some of the behaviors that I'm already doing that I don't really have to work on? Now, that would be attending workshops regularly. I've been going. And if I'm unable to attend the in-person meeting, I have attended a virtual workshop. That really keeps my health in the forefront of my mind, because when I was not attending workshops, I was not weighing myself. I was not acknowledging the bad habits I was doing that was causing me to gain weight and be unhealthy. So even if I'm not following Weight Watchers, strictly, I'm still keeping my health in the forefront of my mind. So I don't really have to make attending workshops regularly a rung on my ladder because I'm already doing it. Now, as far as drinking water, I've been doing a pretty good job of that too. I have a 40-ounce tumbler at work, and the first thing I do when I get there is fill it up with some ice, and I usually am able to consume the entire 40 ounces at work and maybe a little extra. And then when I'm home, I have a couple of glasses of water. Now, I have to be careful because I don't want to drink my water too close to when I go to bed, because otherwise I'm up in the middle of the night a couple times, as you probably know what I'm talking about. So, but I do get my water in, and it's not really a struggle because I've made it a habit already. Same thing kind of with new recipes. Now, when I started my channel here, I was on the OPTAVIA diet, and I have plenty of lean and green recipes that you guys can go back. I know I'm not doing OPTAVIA anymore, but the lean and green meals were ones you made at home, and they were generally lower in carbs, higher in lean protein. So there's some good recipes there if you guys want to scroll back to those OPTAVIA days. And then for the past year, I've been trying different new recipes. I'll look on Pinterest and I'll just pin ones that I'm interested in, and then I use them for future videos. So I do enjoy trying new recipes, and I kind of do that somewhat consistently. So that's something I don't think I really have to work on. I'm already doing it. So that just leads me to getting more active. I really haven't been prioritizing protein as much as I used to, and I think I'm going to make that a rung on my ladder, because I like these clear protein drinks as opposed to the milky ones. Now, I do like the milky ones as well, but the clear protein shakes, they go down like lemonade. And the one I use is it's a Mike and Ike flavored sour watermelon flavor. And I will link that in my description box below. And that has 20 grams of protein and only one Weight Watcher point, I believe 90 calories. So that's a really good way to get that extra 20 grams of protein. And I haven't been doing that in a while. So that's going to be a rung on my ladder for this week as well. And it shouldn't be a really hard one to do because I like it. I just have to remember to do it. So that'll be a rung on my ladder. What it boils down to is break your goals down into small steps, make them reasonable, and something you can be consistent with. And that is the key, consistency. We're all going to have some bad days, but if you have some consistency, you're going to form the better habits, and then they're going to become second nature. So that is what they suggest doing. Now, both meetings ended with a quote. So first, I'm going to tell you the quote from the virtual meeting, and that is, "Sometimes the smallest steps in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. So I don't know who said that. She didn't attribute it to anybody, but I like that. You never know. If you start taking these small steps, they become a habit, it could change your life. So Gina took a picture of the quote from the meeting, and I'm going to show you guys. This is my leader, Michelle, and that's her, I call it a whiteboard, but it's paper that she always writes things down on. She's a teacher, so comes second nature. But her quote is, "It isn't where you come from, it's where you're going that counts." Ella Fitzgerald. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. If you've made it this far and you enjoyed this video, please give me an emoji of an apple, because an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and it is a healthy habit. All right, guys, if you like this video, please like it below and subscribe to my channel. And if you are so inclined, share this video. I am still trying to grow my channel, and I realize it's become more difficult now that I'm only doing one video a week. But please, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you know somebody who might enjoy this video, share it. Okay, guys, I've got a pool to get to, so I will see you next time.